Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Beyond the Bottle. I'm Elise Hanselman, and this is episode 6, which is wild that we're already on episode 6. And you guys, I could not be more excited to introduce a new friend of mine, Megan Dorsey. Megan Dorsey, I cannot wait for you to hear her story. I actually don't know a lot about her story, so I cannot wait to hear what she has to say. And Megan, welcome. Thanks for being on. Please introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about you.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Megan Dorsey. I live in Florida. I absolutely love it. I grew up in Minnesota. I'm a hardcore Minnesota Vikings fan, but I cheer them on from the sunny state of Florida. And I am a homeschool mama of 3 kids. They're 16, 14, and 13. So that is quite intense. My husband's a pastor. We love the Lord. And I've been with doTERRA a little over 3 years.
3 years. So, and in relative to a lot of the leaders I've been interviewing, you are a newer.
I'm a baby.
You're a baby, which I love, but also very successful in doTERRA. And obviously that's why I wanted to, reach out and interview you. So obviously I'm a homeschooling mom. Love that you do that. Have you homeschooled like their whole lives, or did you start during COVID? What was that experience?
No, thank the Lord. We actually were already homeschooling from the time my oldest daughter was in kindergarten. The denomination that my husband was with, they moved us kind of like military. So we decided early on just to homeschool so then it wouldn't be pulling kids in and out of school. And so it was a blessing during COVID because we actually just had more friends to play with in the neighborhood because they were all home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is normal over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so love that you're homeschooling and everything, and you guys are in Florida. Were you in Florida then when doTERRA was introduced to you? What was going on in your life and your family's life like before doTERRA was introduced to your life?
Okay, so I would say before I joined doTERRA, I did know of doTERRA. I was working with another company, another direct selling company for 10 years, and I did lots of expos, and we were in the more clean living space. And so I actually felt like the oils were great, but I didn't know the difference. And I guess I had never been educated on the difference. So I used Breathe and On Guard, and I would usually trade my products with other people. And I never had an account, and I just used Breathe and On Guard all the time. And that was what I knew.
I love those were your 2 staples. You're like, I just need Breathe and On Guard.
That's what I did. And
I worked 2 good staples to have.
Yeah, I mean, they're a must have in every home. And I worked really hard. I was introduced to direct sales when my kids were little. They were 3, 1, and newborn. And like I said, I grew up in Minnesota. My family was back there, and my husband's a pastor, so we didn't have a lot of extra income. And so my goal was just to be able to make enough to make flights back to Minnesota. So that's why I joined direct sales, was just to make enough extra we ended up getting like Disney annual passes and flights home to Minnesota. That was my goal, really. And I loved developing leaders and working with people. And so that was why I stayed.
Love that. So did you love your other company that, did you love direct sales? Like, tell me kind of where you were at with that and how doTERRA happened. Like, how did that transition happen?
Yeah, this is really interesting and not the norm. So I loved my company. I loved all the people. I loved the people at the home office. I loved my team. I was not looking to go anywhere. I worked with my sister, which was the best. And at one point, she had called me and said, we had both been with the company about 10 years. And we had a good friend from our previous company that had gone to doTERRA a number of years back. And she said, hey, this is going to kind of come out of left field, but a friend of mine that I knew as well had reached out. We had this call. She asked if I'd be interested in possibly looking at something else. And I said, no, but let's have a call. Like, let's have a courtesy call. Just talk to me about what's going on. And she got off this call and called me and said, I need you to get on a Zoom call because I was presented with the doTERRA business and I feel like I don't understand it. Like, could you get on this call with me? And so I got on the Zoom call going, I love my company. It's so great. And in 1 hour, we went through the build guide and the compensation plan. And I already was like more of a holistic person. We use supplements and oils. And when I saw the compensation plan, I was like, oh my gosh. We got off that call and I said, what have we been doing for 10 years? What have we been doing? Wow. The opportunity in doTERRA, it was crazy. I was gone. I was ready. I was ready to go, ready to start new. Like, let's get to it, because I had been working for 10 years and I had developed many leaders. I think at that time I maybe had 10 that were in the highest levels of leadership, the highest few levels of leadership. And I was making about $1,000 a month.
Wow. After 10 years and developing highest level leaders in the company, making $1,000.
Yeah. And I thought that was normal. I wasn't upset. I was like, great, yay. This is spending money. We can go to Disney, I had people in top 10 in sales in the company that I was making 0 on their whole team. I mean, like, it was a breakaway model. I didn't understand. I joined because I wanted flights home to Minnesota. And I loved the people and I loved the products,
So had you ever compared your company to another company before, or that was the first one? You're in it. You don't know any better. You have nothing to compare it to anyways. So you're just like, everything's great.
No, I mean, there were certainly people that had left during my time there.
Okay.
But we were always close. I was very close with a number of corporate people, including our founder. And when questions would arise, they would just say, no, we're the best. There's nothing better out there. And I'm a very trusting person. Mm-hmm. And so I just believed them. And after that call and asking questions, I am a strategic person. If you've done Strength Finders, strategy is my number one. And so as we were on that call talking about the compensation plan and the fact that we have amazing supplements and what the supplements look like, the fact that there were rewards orders, that doTERRA paid for free shipping and free products, I had to do all of that. At my old company, if I wanted to give somebody free shipping, it was out of my pocket. If I wanted to give somebody free products, it was out of my pocket. A discount, out of my pocket. Like, there was nothing like that. And we had products that lasted for years. So it wasn't like a monthly thing. So I was like, okay, there's phenomenal products. There's a path for people to order every month. Like, I could just see this being a much smarter business model.
Wow. I love
and being able to work less. I mean, I was working all the time and I was making $1,000 a month. Now I work less. I still work hard, but I have more time with my family too.
Wow. I've only heard that story once, but like when I hear it, it just like hits my heart, because you don't know what you don't know. And then you were like illuminated, and it just took that 1 hour call. And I think you said something so profound too, because everyone who does direct sales, my company is the best. Our comp plan's the best. Every company says that. So it's like, if you're not open-minded enough to look, to even see if something else is out there that could be better and paying you more and has a better product and consumable and all the amazing things you mentioned, like, I just love that you were open enough to even look, and then look what happened, like, that's incredible. So, okay. So you did the, like, a kind of a business call. You were like, oh my gosh, this is it. Did you jump in full time? Was there like a defining moment where you're like, oh my gosh, this really is an amazing business? Or did it take you a minute? Like, tell me, like, what happened when you first started doTERRA as a business?
So it was really funny. I mean, the call wasn't for me. She wasn't recruiting me. Not recruiting. Kidding. Nobody recruits here. We can't, she wasn't talking to me about the business. She was talking to my sister about the business. And I was there as the kind of strategy mind, saying, hey, tell me what you think. Do you think this would be a good fit for me? As my sister.
Did your sister see it like you did? Like, was her eyes opened as well?
So we all have different strengths in life, and mine is more financial. And she would tell you half the time she doesn't even know what she makes. Like, that's not where she goes. She goes for mission. She goes for like big picture. She is an amazing leader, but we just have very different strengths, which is why she had me on the call. And so when we got off the phone, I was like, we need to go right now. And she's like, why? What did you see? What did you see? I was like, here's all the things I saw. We need to go right now. She's like, easy, hold up. Let's do our due diligence. She is the more responsible person in that. I'm so grateful for her. And so we actually both decided to come, and that just kind of prompted some other people exploring that as well. And it was a big deal, because we had both, I had been there 10 years, and it was really hard. It's hard to do something like that, but also the impact that I knew pretty much immediately it could have on our family's life, and just quality time, income potential. It really was huge. And so, it was less than a month. and I transitioned, and we had some people that wanted to do it with us. And so we just went hard, and we had to learn everything. I knew really nothing about the products. I was like, oh, you can adjust oils. Oh, like, how are the supplements different? I mean, we were babies, like elementary school. And we had experience in the business, but really had to learn the product and the compensation plan. And so, but yeah, we worked hard. And
but Megan, doesn't that say so much? Like, I love your story because it's so unique, number one, but also like, I just think that hopefully you just cracked open a bunch of minds that like there's so many people that think they have to know it all about the product, and you guys knew nothing and jumped in and very quickly built a very successful business while you were learning the products. Like, that is incredible that we have the ability to do that. So like, what would you say to someone who's watching this, like who, and I know those people, I can tend to be one of those people. I got to know all the things. I got to know it all before I start. What would you say to them?
You'll never know it all. And so hopefully that's freeing and not paralyzing. So you'll never know it all. And I have one of these Essential Life books everywhere by my desk, in my bag. I carry them with me because even if I promise you, people that have been here for 15 years will still get asked something. They're like, I'm not sure. Let me check. Yep. So just having the peace to know if you're not sure, you can check. There are so many great resources. doTERRA is amazing. The training sites, the resources that we have at our fingertips. I just think it's such a blessing.
Yes. Lots of places to learn. I always call it, we get to earn as we learn, like it really is true. So, okay, tell me this, and if you're not comfortable sharing, you definitely don't have to, but I know you kind of had a big life event happen very shortly after you started the business. Do you feel comfortable sharing kind of that experience and what that looked like?
Totally. So like I said, we live a very healthy lifestyle. I say we, because it's our family. This is all of us, Love that. We had earned the doTERRA incentive trip. This was a really big deal because in my previous company, over 10 years, I had never earned the trip. Even though I developed all these leaders, I never earned the trip. Okay. So when I came to doTERRA, I earned the trip in 6 weeks, it just was great because we joined. I mean, I started at the beginning of March. It was like a trip incentive time, whatever, but it was a really big deal. It meant so much. And so in the following January, so about 9 months later, we were prepping to go on the cruise, and my husband had kind of been having like some shortness of breath and stuff, but it was Advent and he's a pastor and we didn't really stop. So he went to get checked out. And long story short, he was diagnosed with leukemia, and that runs in his family. So his mom and aunt both passed from it. And it really was very difficult in that time because my kids were 13, 12, and 10. Like I said, we were homeschooling. We had just started this new business, and everything stopped. So we explored more holistic. We went to Hope for Cancer in Mexico, which was amazing. But even then, as his test results were coming back, it was like, no, actually, you're so far advanced. We can't help you at this point. You need to go through the chemo and the transplant and the bone marrow transplant and all the stuff, and then we can help you after. So it was intense. I mean, he had intense chemo. We had to wait for a donor. He ended up having a transplant. So that was January of 24. He had a transplant in July of 24. So we're almost 2 years out. But I mean, there were a couple of times where I did not think that he was going to make it. And that was really, really hard. We learned a lot. God is good all the time. And we're so grateful for what he has blessed us with. And honestly, one of the huge things he blessed us with was doTERRA, because in all of the treatments he was doing, we were also able to help support his body in ways that his doctors agreed with. Mayo Clinic is amazing, with products and income. I mean, there were things that we were able to do, like go to Mexico and do holistic treatments and help. There were so many extra expenses. We wouldn't have been able to do those things without doTERRA. And because I had worked for 9 months building my business, when I had to step back for, a really good, strong year, that was the blessing of this business model. And
Oh, like I just like it like hurts my heart, you know, like it makes me out of
Yeah.
breath because I just couldn't imagine going through that, you know. And I always think it's so interesting. I think on every single one of these interviews, the timing of when doTERRA enters someone's life is
Mhm.
nothing short of a miracle every single time. It is so meant to be. It's wild hearing these stories of it's like, you know, God knows what he's doing, right? Here we go. But
Yes.
so how is he now? And what? And so you are out for a year. You know, obviously life stops. Everything focuses on that. What kind of happened after treatment and things like that?
So, I mean, I don't know if you've ever interacted with anybody who's had a bone marrow transplant, but you have the transplant. You are in the most intense chemo that they can give. I mean, some people die during that time because you have to kill off everything so that you can accept the new donor, right? And then for 100 days post transplant, you actually have to live within 30 minutes of the hospital. So Mason lived on the Mayo Clinic property for 3 months after the transplant. And the kids really couldn't see him much. It was just a time where there was a lot of emotion. I don't actually remember a lot of it, I feel like. So we had to have people either constantly being with Mason or the kids because he always had to have somebody with him because literally if he got a fever, he had to be at the hospital within 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So it's an intense time. And then with anti-rejection things like that. I mean, so he's off almost all his medicine now because he had some hiccups, bumps in the road. But you know what? God is good. And regardless of the outcome, he has provided for us in so many ways. And yeah, July is the 2-year mark. And that's typically when they would check the box. So that's what we're praying for. And yeah, but God, like you said, God knew what we needed before we knew what we needed. He put everything in place for us, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful and so happy to hear that. Definitely going to be doing a celebration party for you guys in July. So
Yes.
hopefully you'll share that amazing good news. God, it's just such a powerful, powerful story. So obviously, I mean, I was going to ask you like how doTERRA has impacted your life, but I think you pretty much, you know, answered that, especially at the timing of when it entered. So I guess I'll just wrap it up of like, you know, my goal, as I say on all of these, like number one, if you guys, you know, vibe with Megan and are like, I need to connect with her. She's my person I want to go into business with. Like, please always reach out to me. We live in an abundance mindset in doTERRA. And I just want to introduce everyone to these amazing leaders. And you're going to take to someone and connect with someone's story. So if you can't find her on social media, connect with me and I'll connect you with Megan. But I guess that I will, just like end it on, you know, for the people who are watching this and are just unsure if, you know, they could do it or, you know, I feel like we always get the negatives first of like, I don't, you know, I can't do it. I can't jump in. I don't have time. How would I work it? All the things are the lies our brains tell us of why we can't make that change. How would you wrap it up? How would you tell that person if they're feeling it in their gut that this is the path they're supposed to take? How do they get past those negative thoughts? What would you tell them to do?
Honestly, I would just say if you even have one question about how this might look for you or for somebody that you love, ask. Because one of the gajillion things I love about doTERRA is that people are not pressury here. And people want what's best for you. And so we say we're not in the business of convincing, right? Like we can give you the information, we can answer your questions, and we can provide support if this is something that something you want to explore. But just because you ask a question doesn't mean we will hound you for the rest of your life. You know, so don't feel pressure. And like you said, it is an abundance mindset. I mean, and without getting in the weeds of the comp plan, like we benefit when everybody is working and benefiting. And so I love that. It's such a beautiful way that we all support each other. That has not been my experience in past companies. And so it really just is such an amazing blessing. And I know we all love to share what it can do for families. And so definitely reach out if you have any questions. We'd love to provide answers and see where it might go.
Love that. Such a great response. Thank you so much for sharing that and being vulnerable and just sharing those very intense portions of your guys' lives. And I'm just so happy to continue to get to know you. And thanks for just sharing that with everyone. You guys, I mean, Megan Dorsey, thanks so much. I appreciate you being on. Again, this is episode 6 of Beyond the Bottle, you guys, where we're sharing real stories of real people that are making an impact in this world. And we hope that you're connecting to these interviews. So thanks so much. Have a good day. See you next time.